When we talk about rent, this is any payment including a premium or like amount made as a consideration for use or occupation of the right to use or occupy land and building. That is basically what we look at. A tenant is that person who occupies another person's property for a consideration. And once there is a consideration, that is where we come in. Because we are very clear, there is income. Definitely in these transactions, we expect a landlord to some extent. And this is the person who lets out this immovable property. I insist immovable, because that's where the definition of rental income goes. They rent it out to another person who is the tenant for a consideration. Our story starts there. That is where we start, because we need to ascertain which income is coming out and from what. So at the end of the day, when the two agree, what is paid to the landlord is the rental income. And in the event that this income is not exempted, that is why we come in and request you to give us a penny from that income. It's a total amount of rent that you derive from letting out immovable property within Uganda. That's land and building. So we have definitions of rental tax. These are premised in Section 5 of the Income Tax Act, Cap 340. It is clear, very clear there, that subject to and in accordance with this act, a tax shall be charged for each year of income. That is why I demand a return each year. Provisionally when the year is moving, and at the end of the year, that's the final return. And this is imposed on every person who has rental income for the year of income. When I talk about a person, I am looking at an individual and a non-individual in this respect. We have a number of players in this sector. We have those that are landlords, those that are players in the sector, those that sell and buy. We have the surveyors, the engineers, the architects, the lawyers, and probably others who provide services to you. So that is why we need to understand the sector more, to know who earns from who and how much probably. Normally when we speak about rental income tax, normally there is a thinking that there is a double taxation somewhere. When I come for rental income tax, and our colleagues in KCCA come for property tax, that is where the controversy is. Because it is coming from the same property, within the same year. So that is why I have those definitions. Rental income tax is paid to URA, whereas property tax is paid to local government. And in this case in Kampala, it's KCCA. Outside Kampala, divisions and municipal councils. Rental income tax is only paid when a person is letting out immovable property to another person and is earning from it, because you could let out and somebody doesn't pay. But when we have proof that you received income, that is when we expect the tax. Whereas property tax is paid by a landlord for a commercial building, excluding residentials, as long as it is occupied, and it does not matter even if it's a landlord occupying it. Here, this statement is very clear. When I say excluding residential, if the purpose you've put it to is residential, you sleep in it and there is no income generated from it. That is what my statement means. It doesn't mean that when you have a tenant who sleeps in it, then it doesn't qualify. So I needed to be very clear. And at the end of the day, Uganda Revenue Authority, while you're computing income tax in your return, what you have paid as property tax is an allowable expense to us. Ideally, we tell you, reduce it as any other expense that you have incurred, because it's one of the reasons why, or it's one of the expenses that have helped you to accrue the other income. So when I accept to reduce it by that, then it's no longer double taxation, because it's like any other expense. When you incur on your property, once it is business related and it relates entirely to that business, you reduce it from there, and therefore you're not making any loss. But to take you back, in 2014-15, we were managing rental income tax in a little different way. We were telling you that in the event that you have business income and you have rental income from another source, you are putting everything together. But in 2014-15, we did what we call ring fencing. We ring fenced the rental income. Why? Because we don't want you to utilize expenses from business income to offset my rental income. Let me hope I'm clear. I don't want you to come and offset an expense where you paid probably for a transaction in your business, and you come and offset it on my rental income. We want you to only offset rental expenses against rental income, so that we can have the right chargeable income in the event that it is there. So we have a quick example here of how we compute rental income for a company or a non-individual. We are looking at expenses like cleaning, because some of these buildings you do the cleaning and fumigation. You have casuals who do it. You have expenses in fuel, generator, utilities and the like, depending on your agreement. And by the way, we encourage you to maintain tenancy agreements, because they'll help us a lot, me and you, so that we don't battle at the time we come to audit in the event that you have a building. It's very clear when you have that agreement. It tells us who pays what. Did you agree to pay the utilities, or it's on the other side? So it's basically clear for us when we are trying to do our work. We have security, property rates, as I had initially told you. Then we want you to total up all the expenses. But effective this year, 2022-2023, this is how we compute when you are an individual. You have income that you have sourced in rent of 40 million. Then you have expenses. Altogether, it is 26.7 million. But the law tells you, I am allowing you only 50% as expenses on your income. That means it is 50% on 40 million. It will give me 20 million. Kindly offset it from the 40. Then the balance is what I'll charge to tax. And I'm charging it to 30% for 2022-2023. As simple as that. The other balance that remained, you'll ask me what happens. Kindly carry it forward in the following year. Reason why we are capping, because our clients have become smarter. When we say offset everything, at the end of the year, I won't be mobilizing revenue, because it won't be there. You can give me expenses that are even way above your income. So we've been operating in different regimes, and we looked at all those risks. That's why we are managing it in this way.
Well, more about the computations of the rental income tax and the property tax. There are quite some differences that you wish to definitely get to understand in regards to one which is supposed to be paid to the local council, and then there is one which is supposed to be rather to the local government, and then the other supposed to be paid off to the Uganda Revenue Authority in that same space. So if you can definitely get to know that, that's how you get to differentiate a little bit more of how these taxes are computed in one way or the other, and how possible that can be. Good morning, you're watching Smart Mates Business. Hope you're doing fine. It's the 1st of February 2022, another brand new month, but still moving into the second month of the year 2023. Rather, I didn't mention 2022, it is 2023. Now, as we move further, giving you information, now let's cross over to the press review this morning. Now, with the press review this morning, we've got hospitals running out of essential drugs, according to the Daily Monitor, and there is no longer ease as the drug stock out in regional hospitals. This is another big worry. District hospitals and health centers have forced a number of patients across the country to craft a costly Plan B, and the facilities do not have essentials like anti-malarial drugs. This is actually causing it even becoming more difficult for those in rural areas. Then on the censure, MP Namuganza runs to court to challenge the issue of the censure. And in the other issues, NSSF inquiry puts Liomoki in the spotlight. This is the Select Committee investigating the National Social Security Fund mismanagement have been tasked to probe the request of 1 billion shillings by the Secretary General of Central Organization for Trade Unions in there. Now, also, besides that, local government and officials are selling jobs, according to what the IGG has revealed in this report. Which particular local government officials are those? You can find more of that in the Daily Monitor. Now, as we cross over still with the press review this morning, the new vision, 50 trillion Ugandan shillings budget has been passed. Now, where are the winners and the losers in the draft of the 2023-2024 financial year budget? If you're to remember closely to the current financial budget, which was 47.1 trillion shillings. Now, this one is actually, according to the budget framework paper, 50 trillion Ugandan shillings has been passed for the budget that is likely to be for the 2023-2024 financial year. Then on the other hand, President Museveni has commissioned a 40 billion shillings Bukalasa College. This one is a pictorial of what happened during the commissioning, including pictorials with the First Lady, that is Janet Museveni. Then also on the other hand is the issue to do with national IDs. NIRA is set to recruit 11,000 workers for the enrollment and making sure that Ugandans get their renewal exercise kicked off with NIRA. That kickoff is supposed to be happening as of 2024. The renewal process will definitely be greatly implemented in the country. And well, that is it for the press review this morning. Let's get to our traffic updates this time around. As we wait on to link up with Barija Andrew in regards to traffic flow and see how the city is as of 1st of February, you get to realize it's a new month, and a new month of opportunities that are arising every other day. So how about if you put yourself in that position of getting to know the best chances available? And when it comes to a new month and new opportunities that you can position yourself well, think about investing in government bonds today. Zabu is giving you that advantage as a platform that is powered by Altex East Africa, and it's reminding you to do something new. Now, what something new can you do today? Choose Zabu as the alternative or as your capable source of investment. Star 292 hash is the USSD code that you can use. And remember, Zabu is powered by Altex East Africa. It says do something new. With Zabu, the chances are very high for you to grow your investments today. The markets open at 8:15 a.m. and close at 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. Zabu, my money, my future. Altex East Africa, do something new. And remember, what can you do today? What is that new thing that you can choose to do today? Is by investing in government bonds. The markets are fully closed on weekends and on public holidays. Zabu, my money, my future. Start of February by investing in government bonds. That way, it would be very simple and very easier for you to at least tap into other investment opportunities and other chances for your business growth. There you have it with Zabu. Well, it being a new month and coming in into midway, that is Wednesday, you realize it's a month filled up with quite lots of opportunities to at least try out various ventures in life. Try to at least build onto the kind of strategies that are laid up and get yourself into positions of getting some good money, of at least helping out others and creating room for the rest. And speaking of the traffic outlets, you get to realize that the roads are a bit busier, and it's just like, it is a week where the school calendar was officially opened, and it was actually the annual startup of the schools. And of course, it's the fact that it's first term already. This is the week, and you do expect this and the next week to be quite busy when it comes to the issues to do with traffic flow and the business world within the CBD in Kampala. So because everyone is in the rush hour, especially the parents, to make sure that their children get back to school. Now let's link up with Barija Andrew this morning to check out what is happening from the traffic updates and see how or which route is safer and will provide more quicker options for you to kickstart off your day. All right, we shall be linking up later on with Barija Andrew to check out on the flow of traffic and see how best it is. But what you should know, most of the routes, for example, those around the Ben Chuanka Street Ben Chuanka Street, Clock Tower areas, those coming in from Entebbe Road, it is already heating up. And then for those actually using that same particular route from Zambia, Chibuye, and those who are actually heading to Chibuye, you may find it quite difficult a bit with the fact that now already it's now very busy on the road, and those coming in from Boyogerere, those coming in from Bukolobi, those coming in from Chireka, using the same route of the Jinja Road, as well as those coming in from the Zambia lanes and Makindye, conniving and joining through Jinja Road. You get to realize that traffic has already been deployed in there, so that means you need to be very cautious as you're moving in to your different workplaces in order to prepare for a working day. Like I did mention, it is a week of rush hour, especially for the parents, so that means the best way for you to prepare accordingly is to at least stretch a little bit on your timetable of waking up. And if you're told you've been hitting the road at around 7, it's better you started hitting the road at around 6 or 6:30, at least to make sure that once the traffic light, or rather the traffic congestion or traffic jam starts heating up, you're in a safer place, or you are close to your workplace or to your final destination as early as possible. A happy new month. You're watching Smart Means Business here. When I do return after the break, we're getting to the Caribou East Africa. And not only that, I also have updates coming in from the Smb International updates this particular morning. So stick around. I do have a lot coming your way.